Stand by for countdown. Prepare audience with maximum impact. Full immersion begins in...
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving. I'm a soul man, no. I'm a soul man. Yes, sir. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man, Lord. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so.
They see something that I don't see. What can you learn from a bum, Omar? Shamsuddin? What I learned from a bum is what not to do.
Nobody takes down Angel Snub 7 easy. There's a reason why, after 100 channels destroyed, Angel Snub 7 is still here. There's a reason, but you don't take me seriously.
Maisha ni ya ghetto, msaliti ni wafeto, sharia muna kwao, wazimu pia na hao, furasi mfano, ukabila ni wakwao, hapo nishafika, ukweli na hakika, kadiri na shika, furaku kwa hakiki, ilo kwa mashabiki, mbaji kumziki, beat na thiki, muda muna wiki, mimi na himziki, split ni mukiki, kuna ziki, kwa makini mfulisi, za mkima la zili,
Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution song. Don't you know, talking about a revolution song. Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution song. Don't
mami, I was mezani, I wore that. Already kama methali, kama cheka, tuko kwa table, champagne, pombe mezani, mambuske jani, pass me puff, then ongeza majani, kwani kuna mkatani. Hey, hadi gani, wako hadi maututi, hadi hatari, take pita, soup, pinda mandhari, atilata from far, wanalamba vidole, and if beat so sweet, then piga vidonge, high five, why lie?
Don't you know? Talking about a revolution song. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution song. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution song. Tonight, we wanna have the time of our life. We don't.
People all over the world.
I can handle the hard question. See, they say that Angel Snub Nub 7 don't care about the people. But Angel Snub Nub 7 cares about the people because I'm bold enough to tell you the truth, and I don't give a damn if you give me a dime. I'm not looking for your money.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody who.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
It's so unloving. Just keep it going.
Hey, Angel Snub 7. What's going on? Oh man, y'all go over there and subscribe to our brother Angel Snub 7. This man has overcome some stuff that I don't think the average individual could overcome and fight their way out of. You're a true warrior. I got a lot of respect for you. I know you done been through a lot of stuff on YouTube, but these people could not walk in your shoes and come out. They couldn't. Angel Snub 7, y'all. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. I'm telling y'all, this man is like a real warrior. Like, he's a fighter, the real kind, not the one that just be talking and running their mouth. The one that really fights and keeps going and going and going. Even when even when the chips are down, you got people that get up, dust their stuff off, and keep going. That's what Angel Snub 7 does.
It's so unloving. Just keep it going.
Something my Negroes don't have. If I'm gonna die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm gonna die, you my enemy. My enemies are white people, not Vietcong or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
No, I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody.
Seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That America freed the slave in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation, but gave the slaves no land. And at the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
I'm saying that the Nation of Islam should evolve into what we call the realities temple on earth. We didn't have a choice. We was already doing for ourselves. Even with all the oppression, we were accomplishing things. Far greater than the black and blacks have done. They've done very little. Except bring you the teaching, the belief. Because that's all teachings is, I believe. We don't need to believe no more. We need to know.
Everybody join.
Just keep it going. Just keep it going.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't
We are
nobody.
in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
Keep it real.
What dear?
Because I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
Just keep it going.
also your soul brother. Number one.
Just keep it going.
Everybody who is black and interested in black people, let us sit down and find out how we can get together in one direction against one enemy and accomplish this job overnight.
When soul singer and black activist Sam Cooke wrote the lyrics to his song, "A Change Is Gonna Come," it was very direct and to the point. With some changes to it, the song was still digestible. In the year 2019, black folks continue to go through the change rather than direct the change. A community activist named Taalik Ibn'rad has made an appeal similar to what Sam Cooke was asking for, a change. It said that the meek shall inherit the earth. We ask when. When will the landlords give the meek a free lease? Mr. Ibn'rad is humbly asking for the state of Mississippi. This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
Right. Bro, you a genius. I ain't gonna lie. This is like, bro, you was a genius. I swear. You're gonna go down like Elijah Muhammad or Malcolm X with this one. You finna go down in history with this one. I swear to God, bro.
Well, I'm their child. You know, we all their children.
Yeah, but bro, you know, you your own, you different, bro. I mean, to think of that. I mean, bro, this is genius. Like, I don't just say stuff just to be saying it. Like, I swear to God, bro, you are really on something to come up with this. I don't know how you came up with this.
But Charles Blow talks about the fact that if you really want black power, consider going into 6 states. Now, I'm going to combine this with what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us as it relates to get states that you control. And so when you look at the idea of returning back Louisiana, as far north as Maryland, Alabama, okay, the Carolinas, there's a lot of black folk. Mississippi is the largest state of black folk. More black folk in Mississippi than any other state in the 50. And so if we were to do that and go into our own, become our own senators, we would up the amount of black senators immediately, Congress people immediately. We would up, and by the way, when you run in the state, when you run in certain things, you don't have to ask nobody for reparations. They give you reparations. Something we can do. This is doable.
The Mississippi campaign represents everything that you claim that you want. The beginning of an all-black independent nation, the ability to control your own resources, your politics, the law, be able to do your own thing for a change, create an economy, create and produce goods that Africa or anybody on the planet would want. You're fake, you don't want to do nothing. 3 hours talking about the Mississippi campaign.
Let's see, Taalik says, can you send a shout out to my platform, the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry? Our theme this year is After Purge Comes the Healing. Shout out to your platform, Taalik. All the best to you guys with continuing to stretch in perspective, to stretch in what is possible, and to continue to bring healing into the space of yourself and others. Yes.
nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like that the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire at reality's temple. Reality's temple. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me. Like that the king, we make it plain and simple. Bringing knowledge and fire.
Self, and you don't realize it. You don't realize it that God has been imprisoned. The devil was able to imprison God. So right inside your own self, your God self has been imprisoned, and you have a false sense of self running rampant inside the temple. This is why, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We have to bring reality's temple here on earth. Reality's temple here on earth. Because
Yes, sir.
we have to realize the enemy is running rampant inside this temple.
And that is Brother Taalik from the Reality Temples on Earth channel. And if you get a chance to subscribe, please do subscribe to his channel. He's a good brother. You know, he's doing good work, and he wants to do good constructive things. He has good information to provide. So please do check out his channel if you get a chance.
My brother Angel Snub 7 at the Realities Temple, and to give props to him, because I listened to all of Angel Snub 7's videos. I think that he comes from a different angle, and there's a powerful message in a lot of the videos that he put out, and I try to catch all of them. I look at him as a free thinker and a person that's willing to challenge those of which he don't agree with or which he may think differently from, and I really respect him for that. He's challenged KNBS, and he has also challenged the Black supremacy movement as well. And I have nothing against that, because that which cannot be challenged cannot stand, and will not stand, and will not survive the test of time. How many challenges we can withstand will determine how long we will be able to stand.
Just keep it going.
You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so. You couldn't be so.
Good evening, soul brothers and sisters. This is Tangi Cox, the Black Sheep, and I am propositioning you to entertain just a little while of being in reality. And this is gonna hurt soul sisters and brothers, because a lot of us cannot accept reality. I empower you to, for 1 year, to subscribe to the Reality Temple on Earth. And at the end of 12 months, draw your conclusion of what have you learned in that amount of time. I empower you. You will never, ever, ever think, feel, or entertain nonsense ever again, period. I would like to see my soul sisters and brothers awaken. This requires time. You need to spend about a year watching, researching, and looking. Reality Temple on Earth is life-changing, and I stand on that.
Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly.
That's right. I'm proud to be a Southern girl. I'm gonna take you back a little bit. Where? Back to Texas, where everything is bigger.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another spontaneous edition of what we call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper, host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty, Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. We are simulcasting, and hopefully we have a good broadcast without technical difficulties, but we are simulcasting here on Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry YouTube channel, Angel 7 YouTube channel, Realities Temple on Earth YouTube channel, Facebook, Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry, and our affiliates pages on Facebook. I want to thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It is always an honor. And excuse me while I get my thoughts together. a little sleepy, a little tired for some reason. I don't know. I was going to cancel this broadcast. I was going to make like six short videos. Instead, I decided to come here live and talk about these random topics and get out of here. I appreciate you and all those who would give us an opportunity to share our opinion, our ideology, our conclusions with you. Again, please bear with me as I get my thoughts together. When I first thought of these topics, when it was fresh in my mind, again, I started to just make short videos. Then I decided, because the topics was coming to me one by one so quickly, I decided I'd just save it and make a live stream. I think that you like live streams better than the shorter videos anyway. I enjoy the live streams. So, like I say, please bear with me as I get my thoughts together. And I hope that I can pull off my thinking process as I was when these was fresh. That's why I wanted to make the short videos, because you have an understanding where you want to go on the topic rather than waiting and you sort of forget where you wanted to take the topic. So let me wake up a little bit here. Woof. Let me wake up a little bit. Let's get this party started. This is Angel Snub 7, and you are listening to the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. We got about 6 topics that I want to talk about very briefly, and we're going to get out of here. I'm going to save the last topic for last, and I want to say parental discretion is advised. Even though I don't think I'm going to say anything nasty that children or anybody here speaks way worse than I ever would. Even if I talk nasty, if I talk a little on the vulgar side, these people here, profane, they have some nasty mouths. I can't even begin to compare. I wouldn't even feel right trying to talk nasty and just yuck as they do. Y'all enjoy that though, because you listen to them. Y'all like listening to the yuck. Y'all like listening to the vomit. You like listening to the leftovers, the throwaways, the rehashes. You like that kind of stuff. So that's not me. I'm into original material. I'm into fresh food. I don't particularly care for frozen food. Definitely don't care nothing about stuff that come in cans or whatever. I like fresh food. We should like fresh food. We should not like leftovers. We should not like TV dinners. We should like fresh food. But that is all the Black conscious community has to offer us is leftovers, rewarmed stuff. They don't have the ability to be original and cook for themselves. So they depend on somebody else to do their cooking for them. In fact, that's my first topic. We can go into the first topic. And the first topic is our claim to knowledge. And the so-called Black conscious community, the pro-Black community, has a serious problem. And when I talk about these things, I include myself. But I can say honestly, I never was at that level where somebody can't tell me nothing. I've never been the type of person, I might reject what you say, but I've never been the type of person you can't tell me nothing. I'm the almighty, the all-knowing. I've never been that type of person. When I was in the Nation of Islam, they taught me we had the supreme wisdom. That's what I was taught. And many of these people that believe that, they take that to heart and they believe that. You believe that even though when a more supreme knowledge come to you, kicking you in your ass, they still hold on. Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and the Honorable Marcus Garvey said, Malcolm said. Yeah, but because they don't want to believe they're wrong. If you are ever taught anything and somebody tell you, I exhibit, I embellish, I am the all-knowing, I am 1,000%, 100% right, you and I need to question that. If anybody, I could say such a thing coming from my foundation, because my foundation is reality, and you can't beat that. However, I can be corrected because what was true yesterday might not be true today. So I have to be able to change. I have to be able to switch. But the difference between them and me is I can accept, oh, that's not true anymore. That's not right no more. So now I have to change things around so I can be more correct, so I can be more right. They're not teaching supreme knowledge. They're teaching supreme belief. My belief is better than your belief. I have the supreme belief. Excuse me, let me see if I can. I'm probably going to have to. Brother Taalik wants to join. He's not able, for some reason, he's not able to come through. He's not coming through. He wants to join the panel.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're not able to come through. You're not coming through.
I see that. Yeah. I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Well, I got you on speakerphone.
All right.
So just leave it that way. We just do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can just click out of there.
All right.
You didn't hear what we was talking about already, have you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
All right. Yeah, I was just talking about how we get caught up in the supreme knowledge and the supreme wisdom, and many of us, we really believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like the Quran says, or I'm going to paraphrase, it talks about, do you think that you shall believe and not be tried? All these things will be tried. If you're the supreme wisdom, then you're going to be tried and be tested about it. And apparently you're not the supreme anything because, and I'm not picking on the nation of Islam, I'm just saying in general, we have all this supreme knowledge and understanding and whatever. We have these things, but they have produced nothing. They have not changed the human dynamic. You still a Negro. You still profane. You still jealous. You still envious. You still greedy. You done had these things for 100 years. They have not changed your moral background or nothing. They have not changed your economics. If I am supreme in anything, the world should notice. But the world is not noticing anything. We have all this supreme wisdom, all this knowledge, understanding, and the world, we just fit into and look like everybody else. Crazy as hell. Violent, arrogant. We know it all. So what makes you any different? Except you suffer embarrassment. Now for me, I never felt that way anyway, even when I have supreme so-called wisdom. See, there's two things that you can do. You can go silent and be quiet. Or you can say, or you can tell that person, I never thought about it like that. Let me think about that. Let me study on, let me try to understand where you coming from. But the Black community, the soul community, people suffer because they don't have that type of humility, because I know it all. I listen to Tariq Nasheed. He know it all. I listen to Farrakhan. He know it all. I listen to More Science Temple. They know it all. But then when you are challenged by valid question, you embarrassed because you can't handle yourself. Then the first thing you want to do is like Dr. Umar Johnson. Oh, you a coon. Now I would give Minister Louis Farrakhan his props, because Minister Farrakhan back in the day, with the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he went into places he knew was hostile. I was listening to Dr. Umar Johnson, and he getting upset because people was getting on his case. Oh, I thought they liked me. I guess they paid him. Negro, they paid you. They should be able to ask any kind of question, whatever. You got paid for that. So what the hell you are crying about? And when Dr. Umar Johnson get caught up, you a coon, you a Sambo. Because he don't have no real response. But I give Louis Farrakhan his credit, because Minister Farrakhan been in many hostile places. All white audiences, and dealt with the teachers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Back then, back in the day. The only person I saw him that he backed down was Wallace Farad. I mean, not Wallace Farad. Ward D. Muhammad. That's the only person I ever seen him just sit there and really be quiet. And see, that's wise for him to be quiet because he don't know. He's only going by what he's told. They was talking about Master Farad Muhammad and what happened back in the 1930s with Master Farad Muhammad. Farrakhan don't know nothing about that. You look like a fool trying to argue with Ward D. Muhammad about something he experienced. You don't know nothing about. He was Wallace Muhammad. Ward D. Muhammad was named after that man. He know more about what was going on with the Nation of Islam in the 30s and the 40s or whatever, 50s. Because Farrakhan didn't come till what, 1955? But you have idiots that will actually sit around and try to argue. They talk about Wallace this and what. You don't know nothing about that. You only go about what you was told, what you heard, the teachings. So Farrakhan is smart enough and wise enough. Don't go into terror because you're going to look really, really bad. So that's why these people get angry with Angel Snub Number 7 because they look really, really bad. But you wouldn't look so damn bad. All you got to do is say, hey, brother, that's a good point. Go silent. Don't step there. But they know it all, so they step. Then they get their nuts crushed. And blame it on me. No, you did that. Because you're not humble enough. You don't have enough humility to step back when you're going into a place you don't know. You have no idea. And that's what happens when you see people come here all the time. They get arrogant. They get pompous because they've been taught the supreme wisdom, then get shot down real quick. They're never on the offense. They're never on the offensive. They're always on the defensive. Never on the offensive. Only thing you gotta do is say, I don't know. Only thing I gotta do is say, I never thought about it that way. Well, this is what I was. You can say, well, this is what I was taught. I'm gonna stand on it, but you make a good point. No, you're gonna be arrogant. Blah, blah, blah. So you get 2 barrels of the shotgun in your damn face and look stupid and blame it on me. Don't blame it on yourself because I'm not stupid enough to do that. I know when to step back. Oh, that brother got a point. Let me get back. What you think about that, brother Taalik? Taalik. Would he drop off? I don't know, still there. I don't know. But that's all I wanted to say on that topic. That's all I wanted to talk. That's all I wanted to say on that. Did you hear me?
Right. Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you want to comment on that on our first topic?
Well, basically, like you said, basic things is always up for critique,
Mm-hmm.
And, because if you just sit back and listen to anything that's being said and you're not critiquing it, then you're going to be misled and then you're going to be wrong for passing it on to somebody else, And so that's how the blind leads the blind, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I wanted to say on that one there. But however, I wanted to touch on a topic myself. Basically, is why do soul brothers and sisters like going to jail? And it seems like this is this concurrent thing that's becoming more rampant in the Black soul community all throughout the United States.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do you believe they like going to jail?
Because the reason they like going, it seems to me, the reason they like going to jail is because
Okay.
Because
Before you get into
I'm finna get to my point on that. The reason they like going to jail is because the effects that the environment has on them, that they are in, and the situations that they deal with every day, constantly being bombarded with in society as a whole, is what leads to them having that mentality. Now, I'm not going to sit up and say that they woke up and one day decided they just love going to jail. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the components of what's in the environment that some of them are around that makes them grow to have that mentality. Like I recently had a brother, a younger brother here, tell me that, he'd rather go to jail and do 2 or 3 days than to pay a $300 fine. You see, he got himself caught up in a situation, which I'm not going to go into his business and I'm going to respect his anonymity, but when you tell me something like that, I have to question that, especially being I am a formerly incarcerated individual in a former ex-con offender. Okay, so when you say things like that, that makes me question more and more what is so infatuated into wanting to end up in places like that. And I see this in the mentality with so many of our brothers and sisters. And like I said, it's growing rapid every day in the country, whereas like I've even heard some say they ain't got nothing to live for. They might as well just go on and do something crazy if they don't end up dead first and then end up in the penitentiary. What is in that mentality that makes them have such of that grotesque way of thinking, you see. So this is why I have to question so many things when it comes to what is our purpose, in this life. Last night I was in a dark place, and I will admit it. Even waking up this morning, I will admit it, that I wish I was dead, okay. But literally, in the sense of it, I know when my time is here, then we'll worry about that when that bridge crosses, when we cross that bridge, okay? But just to want to sit up while you breathing and want to be continuously under that frame of institutional mindedness, if you want to just sit up every day and just end up going into a place where you told when you could use the bathroom or when you can't, when you could eat when you can't, when you could sleep when you can't, you being forced to bend over to spread butt cheeks, whether you like it or not, who wants that type of life? You know what I'm saying? Who wants to live that kind of, in their right mind, sanity-wise, who wants to live that type of lifestyle? And I see this, like I say, with so many brothers. and sisters, you know. I mean, it's just really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just had, you know, I just heard a young brother, you know, wants to invest in reaching out into the community to work with youth. But he just got busted with 3 pounds of cocaine here in the state I live. And he out on bond, but he wants to get with an organization and invest in spending time with kids. And he still does, even after that. And that don't make no sense, because now you're going to give that organization a bad name for even considering on dealing with you. You see what I'm saying? With that baggage that you got hanging over you. You see? So, you know, it's like, it don't make no sense, man. I mean, like somebody always say, let's make it make sense. And so I just don't get it, man. You know, as far as so many of our people, you know, loving just to be in these type of environments, man. You know, I mean, it's already bad enough on this side of the fence, but then to want to deal with that on that other side of the fence is a whole nother different situation as well in itself, you know. So why would you want to put yourself in that position? Now, I understand we are humans. We make mistakes. And I'm no different, okay? But at the same time, we got to control our emotions. Just like I have to control my emotions. Because if we don't, it's going to warrant that type of situation. You know, and it might even be a life-altering situation altogether for both parties involved. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, man, you know, I see so many of our brothers and sisters in and up. And even ones now with money, like P. Diddy, Puffy Combs, you know, and he ain't the only rapper, entertainer, singer that's headed to prison. Or even though he ain't been found guilty yet, but that could be headed to prison. You already have several of them in prison. Look at R. Kelly. Look at some of these other rappers. You know, I mean, and the list goes on. Some of these other entertainers, and the list goes on. Had a lot of money, had fame, prestige, anything they wanted. So you know what you have, whether it's a lot or less in material, doesn't define your mental well-being. And that's very important. You know, because I hear a lot of people sit up and say, well, a lot of them folks got money. They can buy their way out of stuff. Well, ask Mike Tyson, how did that work out? With that rape case he caught years ago in Indiana. Ask Bill Cosby, how did that work out? With allegations of sexual assault. Although he backed out, but when he ended up having to go in there and end up facing the reality of what it's like to be incarcerated. You know, and he's supposed to be a billionaire. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, man, you know, when you're dealing with a lot of that type of situation there, you know, it don't make it just don't matter at that point. There's something wrong with that, period. To want to be, especially locked in around a bunch of people of your same sex kind, whether it's a man or woman. you know, and having to smell each other's body funk every day. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to live like that?
Exactly. So you say that the people love going to jail, or what is the words that you use?
Love, yeah, love. Because it seems like they have.
But you said that they love that. They love to do that. Why would you say that?
Because
just because somebody go back and forth to jail don't mean that they love going back and forth to jail.
Okay, but all I'm saying is, okay, let me put it in another context to help the audience understand what I'm saying is that what I mean by when I said that they at first that they love going to jail, I would say they are infatuated with going to jail.
Why are they infatuated? Why would anybody be infatuated about going to jail? I can understand being infatuated or obsessed. You know, you're a child and you want to go back and forth to McDonald's or something like that. Jail is nothing. Jail and prison or those things aren't something somebody would love to do. I ain't never heard nobody say I love to go to jail. I ain't never heard nobody say that.
Okay, well, I've heard people.
I mean, if given a choice or they don't have no choice between such and such and such and such, I would rather go to jail or whatever. I've never heard nobody say. That's like I've never heard a child say, when I grow up, I want to be a drug dealer. I want to be a prostitute. I never heard people say those things, you know.
Well,
so you saying that they love, you saying that somebody loved this, that means they're doing this intentionally. They're doing it intentionally, purposely, in order to go to these places. Why would somebody?
All I'm saying is I've heard them with my own ears.
I've heard that too myself.
Say that they
rather
be locked up.
That sound like a choice because they don't have a choice. I'd rather go to jail than do such and such because of a choice.
Okay,
maybe
so then what we could just do with that one then is that we could eradicate that love term, even though I brought it up, but we could eradicate that, you know, and just call it for what it is, which is it exactly is. It's that they rather take the choice of being incarcerated. And you know, and yeah, I can stand correction. I'm not you know, prideful to why I can't stand to take correction. But that's why I want to have a chance to, you know, defend what I stand on in speaking about this. Okay? Because basically, you know, just like I said, I could choose what is a choice. It's a matter of choice. And I don't see no, just like one wouldn't see in people actually saying they love to go. I definitely as well wouldn't see anything normal about wanting to make the choices to get incarcerated. You see, because it's normal. So either way you look at it on that standpoint, it's not normal for a person to think like that. And so, you know, what my thing is that it's becoming very abnormal, and this is why you see a growing number of other people that's amongst us as a group, not even wanting to have anything to do with each other because of stuff like that. Because when they hear other soul people speaking like that in that type of context of language, the first thing in their mind is, okay, this ain't what I'm about. Not saying they better than anybody else, but this is not what I'm about. So I'm not going to deal with that or that type of individual. And this is what breaks up families. This is what breaks up communities. Because this is constantly being perpetuated. And you know, we've been past the era of the crack cocaine generation, even though it's still out there, but it's not as relevant like it was in the 80s and 90s, in the early 2000s now, because you got all these other drugs called meth and different things that's more relevant out there in the streets these days. But that just the ideal of what comes along with that aspect of being incarcerated, period, is what's tearing families and what they call communities apart constantly on a daily basis. I see it out here where I'm at, constantly. And it's not even that many of us here where I'm located, but I could still see it. You know? So it's like, man, you know, we need to have understanding and realize that we're going to have to put ourselves in a position, you know, to actually control the state that will lead to change in all this, as far as what I'm speaking on right now. Like y'all heard you say in the past, you know,
exactly. I mean,
putting us to work to where we will be occupied with something more constructive. You see what I'm saying? Even in control state, and get you out of different states, get government so we reach out to states where it's some of us incarcerated, where they could be, or you know, transported to Mississippi, but then we could deal with them. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the key. That's the key. We talked about that on this platform many times. That's the key. I mean, many of these problems would disappear if you change the environment. It's all about the environment. The environment produces that. So as long as these children are in the environment, I don't care how beautiful you think you are as a parent, wonderful you as a parent or whatever. As long as the children come out into this environment, it can still happen. I know people who I thought was decent parents, and their children, I'm like, ooh, Lord, you wouldn't believe it, because that was not the intention of the parents. Parents was good examples, but once you start coming into the public, once you start coming out into this environment, your children are influenced by rap music, by the movies, by the public educational system. As you know, the public educational system is pushing, you know, homosexual behaviors and other stuff that most parents are against. But if you send them to school, they are going to be like my nieces and nephews. They don't see nothing wrong and never have been told that there's something wrong with transgender or homosexual behavior. They never been taught that that's unnatural behavior. They are taught that it's natural, that it's something that every day. That's what they've been taught. It's acceptable. But you know, that's on our fault. That's our fault. If we can't do anything to change the environment, it's nothing but talk. It just get worse and worse. There's nothing that we can do, but there's nothing I can do about it, because these people are making choices because they put into a situation that they did not create. And a lot of us would try to be law-abiding citizens and blah, blah, blah. But then there are a lot of us who don't think that well. And that was one of my topics too, about functional illiterates. See, I was locked up. And the only reason why I'm talking to you is because even though I got locked up, I did have an advantage over a lot of those people that was all, I don't have no mental illness. And a lot of those people didn't have no kind of education. Now, my strong point was reading and writing. I can read and I understand what I read. I can comprehend what I read and I write. That was always my strong point. So when I got locked up, I could read and I could write, but I didn't have the proper knowledge. So my reading and writing skills don't mean anything if I don't have proper knowledge. So I did write and I could read, but it wasn't doing me any good because I did not have the right information. I did not have the right information. I want the audience to understand I did not have the right information. I did not have the right knowledge to deal with the situation I was in. That was my problem. We have people calling themselves scholars and so intelligent, so smart in the Black community. There's a difference. Just because you can read and you can get the information and call yourself a scholar does not mean you comprehend. Does not mean you comprehend what you've been given, that you fully don't understand. So that's where belief comes in. Because it sounds good because you have the knowledge, but you have to believe because you really don't comprehend with the information that you've gotten. You have to believe in it instead of knowing it. So now, when I was guided toward the right information, the appropriate information for my situation. The appropriate information for my situation. When I got the appropriate information for my situation, my condition changed. And that's why I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you right now. There are people that I was locked up with who was running. The first time I heard the word functional illiterate, it was coming from a person that could not read to live. He could not read. He calling everybody, oh, so-and-so is a functionally illiterate. He come to find out, because he had all these books. Of course, he had the Quran because he was a Mason or something like that. Anyway, he had the Quran. He had all these books. And then I come to find out this man can't even read. So I'm looking at YouTube and I'm listening to all these people with all this scholarship or whatever. That don't mean nothing. Because you can still be a functional illiterate. Because these proper knowledge is supposed to help set us free. Proper knowledge changes our condition. But if you have, the Bible said, the truth shall make you free or cause you to be free. But if we have the Bible and the Quran and all this Pan-African scholarship and Kemetic stuff, and we have all this knowledge and understanding, whatever, and our situation really is worse than it was back in the 1930s, then something is wrong. Either your information is inappropriate or you don't really don't understand what you have. That's why it's important. That's why we should give you an applause. We should give you an applause, regardless how long it took, that you went back to school and you began to drift and guide yourself towards some type of education, because I can guarantee you We need that type of thing. Now that stuff, you went and just got your GED, your mind is more fresh than mine is. Because you just went through all that. A lot of that stuff that I learned, I probably don't forgot. But we need that type of thing. But it don't make any difference what type of education that you get, because if you don't understand what you're being taught, if you don't understand and cannot comprehend, then you just regurgitate. That's why a lot of people, when they take these tests, they just regurgitate. They just going through a ritual. They really don't understand. They really don't comprehend what they have been taught. And that's why your knowledge and your information, your scholarship really don't mean nothing if it does not change your situation. It does not change anything. I don't care how smart you are, you can be a functional illiterate because you still don't comprehend the information that you've been. That's why people get scammed all the time. College graduates get scammed. How can a college graduate get scammed? How can all these scholars and people? Hell, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan got scammed. Sure did. These guys took him for $2 million. Sure did back in the early 80s. And the brothers talking about we need to find him, and Minister Farrakhan let it go, whatever. He got ripped because nobody that damn smart. Don't think that you so smart. People on the internet think they so smart, they so wise, and they so slick. Nobody can trick them. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because the trickster, see, somebody that's a real trickster, they know you. They know how to get to you. They know how to get behind your fence that you done put up. And if they are saying something that you really like, you're going to let the whole thing down. That's all they got to do is skin and grin in your face, praise you, and tell you the things that you want to hear. Next thing you know, you go to your bank account that you gave them access to. Hey, where my money at? I trusted brother so-and-so. I trusted sister so-and-so. They were so smooth. Now they got all that you had. You think somebody like you, they'd marry you for your money. Oh, she's a real sister. She's a Muslim. No, she know that you got money, and I just wait my time, do what I got to do. Next thing you know, you go to your bank account, and it's gone. Or divorce you and take half. They never liked you to begin with. See, some lies take time. Some scam. Well, it reminds me of Israel. You know, you heard on the news about that they put bombs, explosives in those pagers. Israel did, because they knew that the Hamas and them boys was using those pages. So they got slick, went through a company, and they bought look, you gonna pay for somebody. They actually paid for the pages that had the explosives in them, and they went around and blew them people up. You heard about that, right?
Whoa. Go back there. Hold it now.
Israel paid a company, or they was part of a conspiracy to put explosives in the pages of Hezbollah and Hamas. You know.
Yep. Recently, yeah.
But that's not recently. I mean, they recently set it off.
Right.
They had that plan going for 15 years.
Wow. Okay.
So you think somebody like you and they love you, whatever, blah, blah. They can be waiting on the cut for 15 years to get your ass.
And then put the drop down.
Right. Put the drop down. Never did like you. But that just goes to show you. See, these people, they planned this stuff for 15 years. Took Hamas and Hezbollah, took them people off guard for real. They had no idea. Next thing you know, all their crap got to popping. But they had been planning and doing this for 15 years. See, here we are, the so-called Negro. I don't get angry at us because we don't think that kind of way. We don't think that kind of, we want to be satisfied now. Like when I talk about the Mississippi campaign or whatever, how can you do? I want it now. In the crazy house, that's part of your sickness. Part of your sickness is I want what I want when I want it. In the crazy house, they say that's part of sickness. I mean, that took Hamas and Hezbollah, that took them guys off. I mean, they like, what the hell? You know, just one day, all of a sudden, all these pages got to popping off. Do you know how terrifying that is? Do you know how mentally crippling that is? Because now you can't even trust your tongue. You can't even trust nothing. Like, damn. And see, I cannot explain these things to soul brothers and sisters in this community, the people that we talk to, because they just don't, they cannot comprehend. I know you don't comprehend because they still have the mind of a slave. And they want what they want. They don't have no, see, that was, what Israel did, that was very, very creative. And whoever actually came up with the original idea might even be dead himself. But this took 15 years, messed them people up. We don't think that kind of way. We want what we want when we want it. And see, I cannot, no matter how I talk, see, because people's minds is filled up with these slave teachings. They thinking about the 1930s. They thinking about spaceships and ghosts. You cannot talk that way to somebody like that. If I talk that way to brothers and sisters, of course I wouldn't go on YouTube. I said, man, we could put explosives and such and blah, blah. They'd be looking at me like I'm back out of my mind. And we talking to the Ku Klux Klan, and we've been doing this for 20 years. Next thing you know, all the Klan members' cell phones get to blowing up. They'd be like, what the hell? We was behind it. We've been doing this, planning this for 20 years. We don't think that kind of way. We want what we want when we want it. And we want the easy way out. Like when they talk about a nation, we want our nation already built because we don't want to lose Facebook. We don't want to lose our pretty cars, our pretty houses, things of this nature. I'm talking to people who they're not realistic about nothing because they're functional illiterates. And they're obsessed with belief over knowledge. Because if you knew, knowledge would tell you how you think that's not realistic. Sacrifice. I mean, all these people who are free, they had to sacrifice. They had to suffer. You keep talking about reparations. You always talk about somebody got to give you something. We got to take. And you can't take it physically, take it mentally. You got to be slick. If it take 20 years, then when the person wake up, you got their stuff. I can't explain to Taalik. What you think, Taalik?
Well, that's I mean, logically sufficient enough to understand that if we're functioning illiterate and we continue to want to dwell in that slave mentality, then we're going to get whatever's coming at us.
Exactly.
You know, whether our cell phones get blowed up, because many of us like to be on them cell phones.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, it's like, wow, you know, we caught up in all this entertainment, all this other crazy stuff with that. But we're too illiterate to see that it's keeping us off track. What was going on in the real world while we on social media talking about, you know, Hebrew Israelite versus Sunni Muslim, Christian versus Joe, you know, Hebrew Israelite. You know, come on, man. Who cares about your ideology or what you think? What is that doing for you to understand what's happening in the real world and what we need to do about that?
Exactly.
You know? So yeah, I mean, it is sickening, man, to know that. You know, that we have that type of I mean, look, man, it's the situation is so dire with us. You know, just even looking at my own personal experience, well, families are no longer families like we used to be.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to really talk to each other. Don't nobody really. Now it's all about texting each other. If you got something to say, wait a minute.
Exactly.
I'm supposed to be your kin blood, folk. We supposed to be from the same bloodline, you know? I can't even have an ordinary or casual conversation with you over the phone. We got to text back and forth. Like two couples, you know, texting back and forth. Come on, man, really? Is this where it's come to? Because, we ain't got time because we got so much else going on? Or do we really not want to be bothered with each other?
Exactly.
Let's just say that.
Exactly.
Instead of just, you know, like that. So, you know, but, you know, I've learned that, hey, you know, like my deceased uncle told me, because I was into blocking numbers and I still kind of do, you know. But you know, hey, listen. You know, at the end of the day, like this other relative I got, you know, he tell me he tell me Sundays will be the best days to call him. But then turn around and tell me he at work, he doing 16 hours. He ain't got time to talk. So I text him back and say, look, man, I'm not into them texts.
Yeah.
You know, texting and all that like I used to be. So listen, man, hey, you know, listen. Just call me. If you do call me, we'll talk when we talk. And I left it at that. You know, I ain't got time for all that, all the extracurricular stuff. Because at first, and in a way, my heart still don't really trust anything about him because of some stuff that happened in the past, you know? So that's always in the back of my mind, but I'm trying to do this for me by being forgiven. In other words, I'm trying to do this for my health.
Exactly.
Okay? And my own well-being. You see what I'm saying? Not because of him. You see what I'm saying? But because, see, the situation is so crazy is where it could have went other places and me and you wouldn't be on the phone talking today. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't be on this live talking about it, you see?
Right.
So I mean, it's like, man, you know, and there's certain other relatives I feel a certain way about, you know, that I'm not talking to right now. And see, when the situation is dire like that, well, we don't even get along with each other. And we supposed to be relatives from the same family bloodline. Well, we ready to kill each other. We ready to hurt each other. We rather do anything we can to try to tear each other down. But we all come from the same grandparents, the same granduncles, and aunties, and all that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? We come from the same great-grandfathers and mothers. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, but we ready to kill each other or try to tear each other down and sabotage each other some kind of way. You know, we don't even got that family connection no more like we had. You know, once our grandmothers from the 50s and 60s and 70s died off, I guess all that just changed. Because they used to glue, like in my family, were keeping families together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like once that happened and they transpired, you know, to the point where they made their transition, that was it, you know. And so now you got younger generations behind us that rather be considered the street state family.
Yeah.
And we out and we see them little young youth out there raising each other like they each other's parents and children. You see what I'm saying? You know, we see how they raising each other. You know, it ain't about where your mom at, where your father at. And if you do get a response, my father ain't around.
Mm-hmm.
Or my mother may not be around. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you got this situation perpetuating itself that the youth is raising each other in the streets now because that's where they family at. And can we blame them for thinking that way or feeling that way?
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say no, because we set up that presidents because of our disunity as families.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is why kids don't respect their parents. This is why kids can talk back to their parents. Grandchildren can talk back to their grandparents. Ain't got no type of sense of respect or nothing. So
do they know their parents?
Why we talking about, huh?
I said, do they know their parents? Because I know a lot of people, you know, they the mother and the father, they working so much or whatever, they really don't even know their children like that. They don't even know what they're doing or whatever. They don't know.
No, they don't. And that's another problem. Because now you got parents who got jobs or careers where they ain't got time to even be around their kids.
Yeah.
So what do? They leave their kid in neglectful situations, even if they put them in what they call them places, nursing schools or something, while they at work or something, and then you got cases where kids is getting raped or molested because parents ain't got time for their kids. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's
that kind of stuff.
That's the purpose of father supposed to go out to work and mother's supposed to stay home and always be with those children.
Exactly.
That's the purpose of it. But see, human beings always got to mess something up because a lot of these men, because they go out to work, then they don't see the value in the wife or the girlfriend being at home. They don't understand the value and the purpose of the woman staying at home with those children. You know, I had fathers at home, which didn't mean a damn thing, but I always had my mother. My mother was always there, you know, always with us 24 hours a day, always there. And I appreciate that we had an advantage. We was given to people for babysitting very, very rarely. I don't know nothing about one of these babies, you know, places that you send children. I never experienced that or whatever. But see, that's the purpose of the man going to work so she can be there and watch and take care of these children. But see, these guys, because they go to work for 8 hours. Now, mind you, she's with these children 24 hours a day. Even at nighttime, especially when they real little and baby's crying, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. He got to get up in the morning, whatever, so he can go to work, whatever. But he thinks because he's making the money, you know, I'm better. You know, I'm the shazit. That ain't how it works. No, that's your role. You doing that. You doing it. I mean, it's so simple. I was watching a nature program with these foxes, and the female fox stayed with the babies so she could feed them and watch them. And he was the one that went out into the forest, you know, catch the food and bring back home food for the family. Until the babies got old enough where they could be left alone, then the female would go out and help, you know, go get food for the family. You know, so, but these guys believe that their role is superior. I don't know what's going through their minds nowadays, because women doing both. You know, they watching the children, they dealing with the children, plus they working too. They don't need your happy ass like that. And like you said before earlier, some of these guys would rather go to jail than be with children. Matter of fact, I know that. I seen an example of that when I was 9, 10 years old. I heard this guy. He told the judge, I would rather go to jail. I ain't paying no child support. I ain't giving you a, he told the judge in his face, I'm not going to give you a dime. Do what you got to do. And to my knowledge, he never even went to jail. And then he went to another woman and was taking care of her and her children, but wouldn't take care of his own. Now, the sad thing about that is when his son grew up to be just like him. Same thing. I'm like, how could you act and do that when your daddy did that to you? And he do that to his own. He did that to his own children. Same. The son did the same thing. I'm like, wow. See, first of all, many of these people shouldn't even be having no children. They don't need no children.
Exactly.
They don't need no children. There's no criteria for it. And only thing I do is spread. It should be a law. Once you see somebody is irresponsible, they should be sterilized. I don't care whether you like it or not. Go to Jamaica, go to Germany some damn where. You proven that you are irresponsible, that you should not have children. We're going to make sure you don't have no more. Should be sterilized. Can't control yourself. You need to be sterilized. Because this is a burden. All the things that you was talking about, and I understand where you're coming from when you said black people love to, but see, this is a consequence. This is a consequence of bringing these children that don't have no kind of guidance, no kind of purpose. They just here, and you hope they make it. That's what frogs do. Frogs go to a pond, they lay 1 million eggs, hope that you make it. Mama gone, daddy gone. And this is what we've done to human beings. Human beings cannot operate, function properly like that. But that's what we, like you was talking about earlier. This is the situation we don't put these children in. Irresponsible parents, irresponsible society, because that behavior is acceptable. There was a time when that type of behavior really, it was a shameful thing to do. It was shameful for you to be a teenager and get pregnant. They would send a girl off somewhere and let that baby be adopted by somebody and bring her back like nothing happened. We don't want to be associated with, our family. That was a shameful thing. Now, what I don't like about the whole situation is nothing never happened to the boy. That girl got embarrassed. She went through all that drama, trauma, but nothing happened with the boy. He out there trying to get another girl pregnant, do the same thing to her. But there's no punishment for boys. Well, boys don't get pregnant. Boys are the ones, the reason why she got pregnant. If she's going through trauma and suffer a consequence, he should too. But as boys, as men, we're told you should go out and sow your seeds.
Right.
That's what we're told. Yeah.
Hey, hold on for a second. I got to do something with 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead to the next. I'm gonna go ahead to the next topic.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right. We're gonna slide on to the next topic because I don't have a whole lot of time. I just want to try to knock these topics out real quick. The next thing I want to talk about, we involved in this this blackity black stuff or whatever. Something that I get sick of. It's sickening to me. And what it is, you can't talk nobody in this country. Everybody not involved. But especially in the United States, every time we talk about something, it's got to be black and white. There's other people in this country, but it's always black and white. We always got to talk about the first black person that did this and such black person did that and blah, blah, blah. We in this competition with the white man, white folks, to prove ourselves. What a white man did this. Oh, but the black folks did this. We did it before the white man. Who give a damn? It's a sickening conversation. It's a sickening mentality. The black man is the original man. So what? You took some black person took the first dump. Why don't you brag about that? Or we took the first dump. It's a sickening conversation. Black spit is better than white spit. We got melanin in our doo-doo. Our doo-doo is better than the white man doo-doo. It's got melanin in it. That's why it's so dark. These dumbass conversations. We can't sing, we can't dance, we can't write. It's the black versus the white. And when it's all said and done, it's about individuals. Beyonce is not singing and dancing for black folks. Beyonce is singing and dancing because of her talent to enrich herself for her. These white people did these inventions and did such and such for themselves. It wasn't because of for the white race. Now, when you talk about somebody like Adolf Hitler, they made it very clear. Everything that we're doing is for the white race. I'm going to invent this. I'm going to do that because I'm superior. I'm doing this for the white race. People here aren't doing it for the white race. They're doing it for the green race. The green race called money. They use the white race as an advantage, as an excuse, as a tool to get the green race, which is we call Motown black company. No, Motown belongs to Berry Gordy. He don't give a damn about black. Black people didn't give Berry Gordy a dime. He got his money, got himself together, and built Motown for Berry Gordy. And he used black people, but it's for Berry Gordy. BET is not a black company. BET don't give black people, the community, nothing. Motown, they was talking about this black millionaire. He's supposed to be worth 11.4. Who give a damn? He's not giving you and me nothing. They're not putting these wealthy black folks, whatever, not giving you a dime. You crying, some of y'all crying over Sean P. Diddy Cohen. He ain't giving you a dime. He would rather give his money to the white folks fighting in court over some freak-off garbage than build a neighborhood, take control of a state. He would rather do that, be a freak, than help the black community. Folks, these folks ain't doing nothing for black or white. It's a sickening conversation. It's sickening. They have made us just as sick as they are. These people don't invent. They don't try to accomplish things because I'm black. I'm doing this. It's very rare that you hear somebody say, I'm doing this for my race. If you do, put it in the chat room. I want to know who. I never heard Michael Jackson, the world's greatest entertainer. I'm doing this for my race so my people can be proud. I never heard him say that. I never heard Prince say that. I never heard Whitney Houston say that. I'm doing this for me, my success. And when I die, my success don't go to the black community. I don't have no scholarship. I don't have no grants for the black community. My wealth go to my greedy ass relatives. It sounds good. These people are doing this thing not for black, not for white. They're doing it for themselves. So that's why it's a sickening conversation, and it don't mean nothing. And you're using people because of their skin color, because they black or they white, for your racist mentality. These people got you just as sick as they are. I never heard Bill Gates, oh, I did Microsoft for the benefit of white people, for the white race, white Americans. Warren Buffett. They did this and all this. I don't never hear them talk about giving to the white community. You don't even hear white folks, I'm going to give it to the, because there are poor white people. Why aren't there the folks helping the poor white? There should be no, according to your logic, there should be no poor white folks. But there are. They are the main ones that collect welfare because they're not getting anything. This is how pitiful it was. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I can be wrong, unlike some of these other folks. I know I can be wrong. I watched a documentary about President Franklin Roosevelt. And during the presidency of Franklin Roosevelt, you know they had the Great Depression. A lot of poor white folks. It really didn't affect a lot of black folks because we was already pitiful. White people jumping out of buildings, losing their wealth. You can go on YouTube and see how pitiful they was during the Great Depression. My grandmother, who lived during the Great Depression, she told me she didn't even know nothing about it. The way they was living didn't change. It didn't have no effect on them. Don't you know it took Franklin Roosevelt, it took him, he had to threaten. Listen, Franklin Roosevelt had to threaten the rich white folks in this country who had the majority of the wealth. He had to threaten them to get them to give him the money in order to help get the country back where it needs to be. And as you know, they also took everybody's gold. If you had gold, you got gold, you got to give it up. That's the accumulation of gold that they have stashed in Fort Knox, Tennessee. Because they took all the precious metals away from the American citizen. But you keep talking all this white stuff, and the rich white folks don't give a damn about white people. They use, now if they can use white as an advantage, as a tool, yeah. You know, I'm a white man, you know.
Right.
Yeah. I'm a truck driver. You ought to see how pitiful some of these Caucasians live up in the mountain. Matter of fact, they just had that hurricane. I can imagine those people. I'm pretty sure lots of them died. Hell, some of them shacks that I seen up in the mountains barely can handle a regular rainfall, let alone a hurricane coming through.
You talking about the Appalachian Mountains,
Yeah.
the East Coast?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through that way lots of times up them mountains. And believe me, I want to get the hell out of there too. They kill a Negro, you'll never find me in them damn woods. Believe me, I go through there and get the hell out of there as soon as possible. I do not like being up in the mountain. But I was saying, I don't know how much of this topic that you heard, Brother Taalik. I heard
some of it, yeah.
I was just saying how sick it is that we can't have a conversation in America. Our conversation is always, black and white or whatever. When the reality is, and they use certain people in order to support their racist mindset. When them people, whatever they do, they're not doing it for the race. They doing it for themselves.
Exactly.
Now, back in the day, I heard a brother, what's his name? Paul Robeson. You heard of Paul Robeson?
Yep.
Now, I heard Paul Robeson, he was an actor. I remember, he sacrificed his career and whatever. He said, I want to do this to try to help my race. I never, like I told them, I never heard Michael Jackson say, I hope my people are proud of me for Thriller. I did it for my race. No, Michael said, I did this for myself.
Right.
I made Thriller because they pissed me off about Off the Wall. I'm gonna show them I'll make a record better than Off the Wall. I want white people's acceptance. I want people to accept me. I want to be accepted by everybody. Give me my reward. So now they don't have no choice because my record done sold so much. You got to accept me. I'm not doing this for my people.
Right.
I never heard Whitney Houston say, I'm doing this for my people. Right. It's very that I never heard Berry Gordy say, well, Motown is a black company. I'm doing this for my people. And I never heard none of the Motown singers say it either. I never heard Marvin Gaye say it. I never heard Diana Ross and the Supremes say it. I never heard the Temptations say it. They singing and dancing and doing all this for me.
I never even heard Stevie say it.
No, I never heard, that's right. I never heard Stevie say it. But according to Stevie Wonder's actions, you see that he cares.
Yeah.
Throughout the years.
Yep.
So I got to give Stevie that because he has a record of years of, showing that he cares and try to do things for black people. But I never heard him saying, my success, I want to do this for my people.
I think him and Marvin Gaye was the only two conscientious brothers in that Motown label.
I think so. But it goes back to what we was talking about. It's not a black and white thing. People are doing these things for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, Martin Luther King was doing things for the people. And you saw he was doing things for the people because when he got his money, it went right back into his organization that was helping the people.
Right.
You never seen Martin Luther King trying to live a high sedity life and whatever. Matter of fact, he lived with the people. Like Malcolm X did. Malcolm lived with the people. You could actually walk to their houses. But these other people, they want to live high and hard. They want to be white. They're not for the people.
Hell, even Micah Evans lived with the people.
Sure did. Medgar Evers, that's why it was easy to assassinate. They just went to his house, waited for him to come home and shot him. But these people, Fannie Lou Hamer, Stokely Carmichael, all these folks, whatever it was, anything they had, it was they get. But see, that's the thing about it. And even Elijah Muhammad said, which I don't think, to me, it's a contradiction. But he was talking about how people that really need the money can't get it, and the people that won't do nothing for you, they get all of it. But Elijah Muhammad was worth, what, $80 million when he died? The people didn't get it. All his wealth, everything went to taxes, everything went to his people, his family.
Right.
And see, that's what's not going to happen with the Mississippi campaign. The people need to know you helped build this. This is yours, and it's for the people. There's no individual family. No individual's going to get nothing. This is yours. But see, that's an organization. Nation of Islam was not a nation. It was a religious organization.
Right.
But for me, again, it's like, it's sickening. Everything is black and white, and black people did this, and no, individuals, certain whatever did that. They didn't do it for black people. Europeans is the one that created this race garbage. Before Europeans, there was no black, there was no white. People identified with their nation, they identified with their family, their tribe, even religious affiliation. They did not identify with no skin color, no race.
Right.
That's something that Europeans done in the late 1600s, early 1700s, something like that. But that's the point I wanted to make on that subject. Did you want to say something on that?
Oh, yeah. And this is the reason why, because even if you go and look at other nations today, you know, even though this started with Europe, piggybacking off what you said, but even over there in Europe, everything ain't so much entrenchedly based on race like it is in America. You can go even to France, England, or Portugal, places that were colonizing nations, you know, and see that. But they carried it on in America for so long that it became more normal.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So this is why when you want to talk about race and all that, it's more associated with America than any other nation in the earth. I mean, not like, don't get me wrong, you have racism, you have colonization all over the world. But at the same time, race is not a relevant main topic in those nations. You won't find it in the European continent. Like I said, you won't find it in the African continent. You won't find it even in the South American or Central American continent. You know, but you will find it right here in North America. You see. And so with America being the center of that, this is where this mentality has a ripple effect where it reaches across the globe. But if you take America out the equation, we will probably go back to that time. Where people just looked at themselves as being human beings more so than anything else. Or people looked at themselves as being tribes, or like you said, identifying themselves by what countries they were from.
Yeah.
You know, or identifying themselves by what tribes or religions they came from.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, but as long as you got America at the center of this is the type of stuff, unfortunately, that's gonna keep getting perpetuated. And I'll be digging so much into this, to the point where now they are going to become the actual white supremacists. You know, like I seen a video was posted on YouTube last night, which supposed to be talking about that. I didn't look at it, but you know, you had a brother sitting down with a white sheet over his head. But you know, it was you know, supposed to be, I guess, coming from these construct pro-black teachers or whatever, you know, and somebody was trying to identify that as being actual, like you say, white supremacy actually being black supremacy, because it all go hand in hand. That's right. So at the same time, you know, when you look at these entities like the Nation of Islam and the Moorish Science Temple of America, and they can say as much as they want that they don't operate into nationalism like the Nation of Islam do, but yes, they do. Because why do you got a flag why do you even tell people like similar to something like the Nation of Islam to not amalgamate with white people? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling people still that they should lay in the bed with a certain type of people and who they shouldn't lay in bed with or behind closed doors with. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So you're not no different. Matter of fact, the Nation of Islam, through Elijah Muhammad, who was a Moor himself, adopted certain principles from that organization. See? And you could see it even within the remnants of the Nation of Islam teachers to this day. So don't sit up here and say that you're not a part of that confusion, and you are. You know? And then one thing I could also say is this, is that what has Black supremacy done since we own this topic? What has it done to change anything about our condition? Hell. And I have to say this, and I will always say this. Hell, the Christian church did a lot more for Black people in this country than the pro-Black conscious community could even do. So you know, don't sit up here, you know, and come with all these supreme knowledge, wisdom, teachings, and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, most of you brothers who walking around with names like Hakeem, Lakeem, Rakim, you know what I'm saying? Jamal, getting locked up for bank robbery, getting locked up for shooting other brothers.
Hey, to live.
Sisters, yeah.
To live. It was a guy here in St. Louis. His name was Elijah Muhammad. He tried to rob a bank.
Yeah, man. You had a matter of fact, right in your hometown, right near your hometown in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
You had a Moorish empire there.
Sure did. You're right. Sure did. They just
that had the drug distribution sold up throughout St. Louis.
Yeah.
You know, and all that kind of stuff. And their leader, last I checked, though it's a long time ago, is in federal prison doing time behind that. So you at the same time you saying that your purpose and goal when it comes to soul people is fallen humanity was selling your people drugs and poisoning that you know is going to destroy individuals and families. How's that uplifting fallen humanity?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't see no difference with these faction of Moorish Americans in Detroit that I know about. That I got a relative that's directly involved with that's doing the same thing, got a reputation known. You know what I'm saying, for running dope houses around Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Using brothers that's getting out of prison, telling them, look, put your right hand over here. If you for the Circle 7 Quran, which is supposed to be a holy book, or put your left hand over here, we got this $1,500 at, and pick and choose which one you want. If you don't pick the Quran, then you know, we got a job for you the next day. And that ain't no regular 9-to-5 job I'm talking about either. You see what I'm saying? So here's the thing with that. And then you got them intertwined with the gang stuff. Factions of them like who was up under that leader, that gang leader of the Vice Lords in Chicago named Jeff Fort. And anybody out of Chicago who might be listening to this live know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because Jeff Ford was a part of that Moorish American science thing, but he also ran that organization faction in Chicago as a criminal enterprise. You see what I'm saying? Now his daughter is today, she's a Sunni, supposed to be some kind of Sunni Muslim who's actually trying to reach out to the community to right the wrongs of what her own father obviously contributed to. Like so many of them in Chicago that was a part of the organization is dead. But at the same time, you know, this is what it is. And so, you know, when you sit up here and want to tell black people, you don't need to go to church, you need to get out that Christianity stuff. Well, what the hell do you got to offer them? At least a Christian church you could go, get a food bag, or you know, they'll feed you.
Yeah.
And some of them even house you. I ain't talking about no shelters. Some of them even put you in apartments and houses. I knew this church in Kansas City. I think it was some kind of Catholic church or something. We had black and white folks up in there. But they had their own individual apartments. As long as you was a part of that organization, you didn't have to worry about nothing. You was living rent free and was able to eat. You see what I'm saying? As long as you claim to be a part of that organization, that religion, you didn't want for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And though you got more places like that under Christianity throughout this country that people don't talk about. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. On that note, I only have like 45 minutes left.
Okay.
And I still got 3 topics. I'm gonna try to blend these other topics in.
Okay.
And try to knock them off.
All right, but I just wanted to say one more thing. You won't find none of these Islamic organizations, even if they are up under the Board Science Temple of the Nation of Islam, that's operating like these Christian organizations around America is. You see what I'm saying? That I had just brought up. And that's all.
Yeah, that's true. Are you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to point out. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of organizations, you know, when I was in the Nation of Islam, we was taught that for every spiritual law or for every physical law, there's a spiritual law.
Right.
So I want to know, I just want to bring this up. Using this for an example, what it takes to have a baby.
Right.
Well, we already know what it takes to have a baby. We know the science, the biology behind it. We know once that egg is fertilized and it enters the womb, it has to have a proper connection to the womb. If that embryo, if that egg does not attach properly to the womb, then the woman can mess around and suffer what we call a miscarriage because there was no proper attachment. What is the baby, or what is the embryo? Why is the embryo? Why is this egg attaching to the womb?
Right.
They're attaching it to the womb because the womb is the source of life for that embryo. It is what is going to bring the blood, bring the nutrients to the embryo so that it can grow and it can develop. If there's not a proper attachment, then you will suffer, or you'll suffer a miscarriage. If there is something wrong in the development of the embryo, the woman will suffer a miscarriage. So I'm bringing that up because because some of y'all say that y'all spiritual, so that you can work with me. Since you're spiritual, what I want to say is, why do Black organizations continue to miscarriage? And it's very simple. I just gave us the answer because it's attached improperly. It has not attached to the woman. So what is it that we are attaching ourselves to? What is the power source? Now they will say that we are attached to God. Well, if you are attached to God, then why have your organizations, why do you continue to miscarriage? Your organizations do not grow, they do not develop. Organization miscarriage. And of course, you blame J. Edgar Hoover, COINTELPRO. You want to blame the white people for the miscarriage, which is partly true. The reality is, you don't know how to properly attach yourself to the womb because you have not found a womb to properly attach yourself to. That's the reason why. Attached, and God is that power source, then why aren't your God feeding you, developing you so that you can be born? So that you can come to birth. Instead, you continue to always miscarriage. Because you're not hooked up to a power source. And I'm saying this to be very simple. What I'm saying is, since we don't have a power source, because you said Africa, you're not connected to no Africa. You don't have nothing to connect to. Dr. Martin Luther King said, I talked about this promised land. You're not connected. But he never said how you gonna get there. How we gonna get there, Dr. King? I might not get there with you, but you're gonna make it to the promised land. How? How we gonna get there? By singing "We Shall Overcome"? How are we supposed to get there? Nobody has no vision because we're not connected to a source. We know how to complain, we know how to write grievances, but we don't know how to connect to that which will give us the solution, give us the comfort we need to solve the problem. We're connected to our parents. Only thing we have to do is cry. Only thing we have to do is complain. We're connected to them so that they can solve our problem. I need milk money. I need lunch money for school. So we go there, we're connected. So they will solve our problem. If you are connected to some power source, then that power source should give you the ability, give you the wisdom, give you the strength, whatever it is, so you can properly develop, so that you don't miscarriage. You understand where I'm coming from, Brother Taalik?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I had you on mute. Go ahead. Yeah, I definitely clearly understand what you're saying, brother. Without a doubt. Because when you critique Dr. King, on what he said about the promised land thing, when you throw these phrases and slogans out there and you're not given no conclusive tangible evidence of where this is going to lead us actually to, then it ain't nothing but empty words.
Yeah, yeah. I want to add this too.
And this
Go
is
ahead.
not anything. The king literally. Listen, the man did, and the ultimate.
Yeah.
Especially today, when you took fully group of people.
That's right.
We can't say that.
No. Don't even come close.
Exactly. But at the same time, when you're saying things and you're not being straightforward and direct with a conclusion alternative, then it's just simple words.
Yeah.
I mean, Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. Okay, but exactly what type of any means necessary do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that basically applies to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Narrowly on that same line path of which you critique Dr. King on. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But at the same time, I would say that we don't have no narrative. Excuse me. We don't have no tangible conclusion like we have proposed to y'all with the Mississippi campaign.
There you go. You go.
So there it is.
There it is.
And many of you have been unwilling to jump on that boat because you're saying it's a pipe dream. It can never happen, but you never tried it. Like you tried these other things in which Malcolm X and Dr. King did. And you see, of course, unfortunately,
Hey, brother, to live.
To this point, how it's panned out. Yeah. I just,
Yeah, you were saying.
Make that perfectly clear.
Well, you know the person that made, that kept talking about it's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
If you go to his channel, now he been calling the Mississippi campaign a pipe dream for years, right?
Yeah.
If you go to
you talking about gay Nollywood?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to his channel, and he been calling the Mississippi campaign pipe dream for years, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing, all these years, all these RBG people, the only thing you see on his channel is they having a parade. They having a parade. That's the best they can do. And it's thousands of them that claim this stuff, but they don't have no vision. They don't have no creativity. They don't have nothing. They don't have nothing.
Right, exactly.
Except regurgitation of some stuff that a dead man said back in 1929. And I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna go into our main topic. I'm gonna say this. In the Bible, now correct me because it's been a long time. I don't know, is it the Hebrews or the Israelites that was guided by Moses? Are they called, or is the Hebrews the same people? I get that confused.
Sometimes I do too.
I don't know which one it is. Anyway, the people that Moses led out of Egypt, Israelites or Hebrews, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. Okay, so they led them out of Egypt. Remember, they go into the promised land, right? Okay. Now, I don't know if Moses made it. I don't remember if Moses himself made it there. But anyway, they finally made it to the place where it's supposed to be the promised land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I really don't know the story, but to my knowledge, to what I remember, when they got to the place where God sent them, it was people already living there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It was called the land of Canaan.
Okay, right. Okay, the land of Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
So the people's like, hey, I thought this was supposed to be ours. This folks already here.
Right.
What we supposed to do?
Right. Mm-hmm.
God said it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they had to argue and try to figure that one out or whatever. But the thing about it is, see, we're in the same type of situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wherever Dr. King said our promised land would be, somebody, chances are they're already there. Somebody's already living on that land.
Right.
It's the same thing with the Mississippi campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Folks already there.
Mm-hmm.
So what you gonna do? You gonna turn around? You gonna turn around and say, "Well, I guess that's not for me." Now you know you can't do it militarily.
Mm-hmm.
So what we suggest is use your political tool, your political rights that you have, and be slick about it. And even though there's people on the land, you still can take that land.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. King was only 39 years old. Malcolm X was only 39 years old. They were young men. Their knowledge was limited in things. But we walk on their back. And see, that's how we evolve. The baton gets handed to us.
Mm-hmm.
But see, once the baton came to us, unlike them, we don't have any creativity. We don't have no vision. We just lost. We just run around like chickens with our head cut off. Dr. King gone. Everything fall apart. Malcolm gone. Things fall apart. Elijah Muhammad died. Things just fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
That's what always happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get too involved in personality worship, and we really don't concentrate on the condition that we're in. We get caught on the church part, the pretty speeches, but we don't concentrate on how are we going to get out of this?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to change this? Pretty speeches don't change nothing. You have to sit. It's like a military. You have to look at this like we're in the military.
Mm-hmm.
We know that we have to take this mountain in order to get a better advantage so that we can deal with our enemies. How are we going to get up there? So somebody sits in a room, they get together, okay, unfortunately, I heard of, you ever seen that movie, Denzel Washington, was it that Civil War movie? What was it called? Glory.
I can't say.
Glory. That Civil War movie, Denzel Washington starred, it was called Glory. I remember the last battle when almost his whole regiment died. Unfortunately, that was part of the strategy. In order for them to get wherever they needed to do, they was going to have a suicide platoon take the hit, take the big hit.
Mm-hmm.
And the Negro unit, which Denzel was part of, they volunteered to do that, to prove themselves that they was worthy of fighting. And they volunteered for that volunteer position, that suicide. Basically, it was a suicide mission. Because they had to be able to take the hit to weaken the enemy so the other people can come through and knock them off. So it's about strategy. It's about even these people talk, they even say that we are at war. So if we are at war, you got to look at it as a war. You're gonna have casualties. Somebody's gonna have to take the hit.
Mm-hmm.
In order,
that's what, and people like you said, they use that word WAR
Yeah.
ain't really willing to participate in that. Like,
No, they're not ready to do that. You know, Stokely, I saw an interview with Stokely Carmichael, and they caught hell. You know, him and Fannie Lou Hamer and all those brothers and sisters in Mississippi. Boy. But he said they slept on people's porches. They slept in the dirt. You know, they had to do what they had to do. See, these people we talk to, they can't even comprehend that kind of action. Just like when I was talking about the Mississippi campaign, I said you have to look at this as a military operation. If we have to sleep in tents, then we need to do that. You know, this is a military. When you send troops, when you go to war, you don't know where you're gonna end up. I was watching Forrest Gump, and you know how Forrest Gump, they was in swamps, they was in all kinds of places in Vietnam. You know, fighting mosquitoes. You know, Hitler's boys was freezing to death trying to fight the Russians. They ran out of supplies and literally froze to death. A lot of those soldiers, when they found there was blocks of ice. But that's war. That's your soldier able to deal. George Washington and the boy had to deal with mosquitoes and crocodiles. So the Bible is basically saying, you know, it's not going to be easy on the land. It's yours. What you going to do? You going to kick them off? How you said God, against God, it should have been. Get nothing easy. There's no spaceship on planet. There's no Africa ain't gonna do a damn thing for us. Oh, we gotta be smart enough to deal with it, but at the same time, be realistic. Some of us have to take the hit.
And listen, Ben, you had on that note, you had mentioned that you have these Americans or so-called African Black Americans or who went over there and mind you, they didn't do this for the people. They did this individually for themselves by purchasing certain lands in different countries over in Africa and ended up at the same time in that process of losing their life.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for the people.
I just saw a video.
I'm just saying, so go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just saw a video where some African, I think it was Ghana or Nigeria, one of them countries, them people knocked out. They was trying to organize a Black American town. I guess that's what they was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I heard they burned that town down. Wow.
But you get these Africans telling us, "Oh, brother, Africa is beautiful. It's good. Go over there. Well, why you come to America?"
Exactly. See, that don't make any sense to me.
Right.
These people running over here, by the thousands, not a few hundred. I mean, by the thousands. They trying to get to America. They trying to get to Europe. They're not trying to go to another African country. They want to get the hell off the continent, period. But you're supposed to go over there, and then when you do go over there, you go into the Africans where they basically trying to live like Europeans. Right. And matter of fact, as you know, the national languages of a lot of those African nations is European. You know, Portuguese, French, and English. The national language is not even an African language. But this is where we're at. This is where we're at.
We're not. I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why we as men, they're not really serious. We're going to go to the last. We're going to go to our last topic because this is one of the reasons why these folks can't really get serious. And I say it all the time. I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why. Parental discretion is advised, y'all. Because the main topic that I've chosen is the negative effect PUZZY has on men's mind.
Oh, I saw that in the yeah. Yeah, let's go into that, my brother.
Yeah,
let's close this out.
Yeah, we're gonna close this out on this topic.
Yeah.
The negative effect PUZZY has on men's minds. And this is the reason why you can't, these men that y'all women follow, this is why they can't get a damn thing done. This is the number one problem. Because they got y'all PUZZY on their mind. That's the reason why. I'm going to tell you this. Look, I'm going to start the conversation by saying this. When I was younger, I was about 16 or 17. I was 16 or 17, I think.
Right.
Or maybe a little older. But I did an experiment. A very simple experiment. Y'all can do this too at home.
Yeah.
I think I was still in school. I'm not really sure. But I did this experiment. Just because I had a thought and I was just thinking about something. See, that's something that y'all don't do. You don't think. You regurgitate information, but you don't think about life, your own self-experience. That's what I said, Brother Taalik. How can you and I, how can we be over 50 years old and have life experience and we don't know nothing?
Right, exactly.
Nothing original. We don't know a damn thing. We got to keep following somebody that's dead from 1930.
Right.
Come on. Something is wrong.
It don't make no damn sense.
It don't. But I did this experiment. Y'all can try this at home. You can try this at home. Okay. I was studying for a test. And then I said, I wonder. I was just wondering about stuff, just kicking thoughts through the brain. I took a Playboy. It wasn't a Playboy. It was one of those generic black Playboy type magazines. Had the woman button or stuff like that. I took that and I turned to the centerfold. Look, I can't even. I'm stuttering just thinking about it. So I'm looking at this. I'm putting her naked body in front of me, and I try to study. I can't get nothing going. Because I'm looking. This is not even a real woman. This is a piece of paper, an image of a woman, a piece of paper. But that image is enough to throw me off. I can't even study what I'm doing. Because it takes my mind off of what I really need to do. It's a big distraction. Because I'm studying, but I'm looking at her breasts and her body and blah, blah, blah. It's throwing me off. This is your problem. This is your problem, black man. This is your problem, soul brother. This is our problem. Your mind is stuck in Pussyville. That's really the main problem. You got all these so-called man groups, whatever.
Right.
And the only thing they talk about is pussy.
Right.
How to get pussy. Why won't you give me some pussy?
Right.
The black woman won't give me no pussy. I want no weave on my pussy.
Oh man.
Don't put no blonde weave on my pussy. That's what it's all about. That's the only thing on their mind. I want 3 wives. I want 4 wives. I want a lot of pussy. Their mind is more on pussy than the actual what they I want a nation or what. No, I want 4 or 5 wives. The more pussy I can get, the better I feel. Look. And that's what it's all about. Now, see, for black men, pussy is very important because we can't control nothing else. So the only way we can feel like a man is to get all the pussy we can.
Right.
And to control the pussy.
Right. Oh man.
And the white man make a pussy out of us.
Right.
See, when the white man, when he think about pussy, it's about bullying and control. Domination. And make a pussy out of you.
Right.
That's how he looks at pussy. These guys look, I want a family. I want 3 children and a dog and picket fence. That's how black men talk. You know, this beautiful Cinderella comfortable life. White men, when they think about pussy, how I want to control this. I dominate. And make a pussy out of these other men that's under me.
Oh, hey, brother.
Yeah.
I want to say something, man. Hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Man. You got half of them that do want the putty. Okay, the putty chain. But at the same time, they want the mandingo too. So make that make sense. I mean, you know, we so caught up in this life of sexuality, we not even understanding how it's destroying our focus on tangible real things.
Exactly.
It's dealing with real life situations. You see what I'm saying? So what we're dealing with is that you got some confused brothers out here. You know, one don't know if he want to be a man or if he want to be a woman. And what's crazy about it is you got a lot of these sisters out here that's choosing these type of brothers.
Well, they don't have too much to choose from. I mean,
right, exactly.
You know, unfortunately, the black woman, soul sisters in this country have never had a man. They've never had a full functioning man. They had a survivor.
Right.
They had somebody who know how to survive around white people, but they never had nobody. They never had a real man that can stand up to white folks, these white guys, and say, kiss my ass. I'd rather eat beans all day. I don't want nothing from you. But see,
now, brother,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm not gonna knock gay brothers.
Yeah.
You have some divine gay brothers in
Oh,
history.
no doubt.
That was more than heterosexual.
I've seen it with them.
Men.
I was locked up with them.
Yeah. And see, that's another twist and turn with confusion when you want to talk about the manhood of the soul black man. Because wait a minute, hold up. It's supposed to be the other way around, right? But you got this dude that like taking the dingling. but you got this other dude who's supposed to like the putty cane.
Yeah.
And he more wicked than the dude that's taking the dingling. So, I mean, come on, man. Like they say, let that make sense, you know?
See, this is our problem. We are we supposed to be, the male's supposed to be the protector and the provider.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You claim, my gender, our gender claims to be the leaders.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing our leadership can do is talk about pussy all day.
Mm-hmm.
And concentrate on, see, okay, it's natural for you to want the backside. That's natural.
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, you're not doing your job, because our job is like a bird. Birds build nests first before they lay eggs. Very few birds lay eggs straight on the ground. They build a nest. Here you want the pussy, but don't want it, but you're not dealing with the consequences of having pussy. Because you need to build institutions, not no one African school. You need to build a school system for your children, because you got lots of them. And those children need jobs because they're going to grow up. You need to have infrastructure. You need to have resources for them. And you're not giving them nothing. You depend on the white man to give it to you. This billionaire black man, $11.4 billion, I think that's what they say he had. This black man, Jay-Z, P. Diddy, matter of fact, speaking of P. Diddy, what is P. Diddy case about? Pussy. Oiling it up and rubbing it down. That's what was Bill Cosby's problem? Pussy. What was R. Kelly's problem? Pussy. That's all our minds is and spend on pussy. That's what it's all about. We are obsessed. When you go to King Noble's Black Supremacy website, all thing he got is a bunch of sisters, half naked, spreading them and whatever, because his mind is on pussy, but he's spiritual. What is spiritual about a naked ass woman swinging on a pole? What's spiritual about that, King Noble? And that's why you really don't hear nothing from him no more, because his mind is on pussy so much he can't even make videos no more. He don't have nothing to offer. He done ran out because his mind caught up in the pussy. See, we have to understand this. Those things, it's natural for us to want a woman. But remember, too much of anything is bad for you. An apple a day will keep the doctor away, but you eat too many apples, your ass get diarrhea. Too much of a good thing is bad. We don't know how to stop. We don't know how to balance life. And so you got the pussy, but you don't have no house to put her in. She don't have no land. She don't have no water. Her children don't have no educational system. You're not making no clothes. You don't make no shoes. You don't make a car for her. You don't have nothing except a ding-a-ling to swing. And that's because your mind is on the pussy, so much on the pussy you can't think about doing nothing else.
Wow.
And you're not really worried about it because the white man got your back. The white man bring water to your house. The white man give you a car. The white man give all the things that you need, so you don't have nothing else to do except get you some pussy. You don't have nothing else to do.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up.
Yeah.
Damn. Wait a minute. You remember, now, I'm going to say this again.
Yeah.
I'm not this is no disrespect attended upon women who were made to sell their bodies in the street for money, right?
Yeah.
But from the generation of our parents and where they came from, you had that going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but now, just like I was speaking in terms about the homosexual male and the heterosexual male, right? Now, even flip the tripping situation, because now you know the dudes you the women. Now the woman is flipping the dude. Let's make that make sense. See, this is how weak we've gotten.
Exactly.
Sexuality. It says, I'm gonna have to say this, man. If anything is worse than crack cocaine, it's what comes that's spelled sex. If anything get us worse than crack cocaine, that's what did.
Exactly.
I mean, this comes out. You got, like I said earlier, people and kids that even need to have kids.
Right.
Now, in order to keep them paying child support or you know, living off somebody waiting on them to leave life insurance. Now you got killing plots and of killings going on, all kind of stuff, you know, and stuff, or because like somebody just simply don't want to own the responsibility of being a family man or being a family wife. So they said, hell, I'll take you and I'll take my kids. Matter of fact, I just take us all. I'll take y'all out first, then blow brains out. You understand?
Yeah.
So this so this is why I say, man, it's, when I talk to people don't want to engage in these conversations
right
in the street because reality hits too hard. So the first thing they say ain't work, but nobody else do. I can only worry about me. First of all, you want to pick and choose what you want to hear. Oh, especially if they. But when it comes to other hardcore truths about life, you rather not sit and talk about it. You rather go to the part of the conversation. You might simply just get off. And that's fine and dandy too. So you're not going to waste my time talking about anything. You know, sex has become a drug. It has become a drug. You know, and a lot of you social media who watching live or who gonna watch once this video is posted, you know, hey, listen, I'm all for a man or a woman being celibate and just you know, jacking off their dick or pussy, because what use is it being involved with another sex partner, and it's gonna lead to all this. We got to understand, when humankind was first brought into this world, you didn't have that big a population of people.
Right.
Like billions. That's not enough more. So it's on the planet. Now it's not enough for everybody.
Exactly.
How you think that I had to learn this in school? How do you think that off? Because it's so minimal, that increase in population where the natural resources that they have, it's not enough.
Right.
So you got some animals that just die off. And then eventually that's going to become a part of the situation.
That's right.
With the entirety of humanity.
That's right.
Because you got all this sex going on. This is why China used to have a law which forbade you to have more than one child, you know? And that was for a reason.
Right.
You know, that forbidden you to have, you know, one or more child because they understood and knew what implications that would bring to the population. Now, I think they changed that law over there, but I mean, they might, if they did, they might as well have kept it going because, you know, now some people saying that Japan's population is going down because they're not intermixing with other cultures and this and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what, man? I look at it like this. You know, the more and the more people die, the more the planet Earth comes back to normal. Because I thought it was supposed to about being for the upkeep of the planet Earth, right?
Right.
You see? But nah, y'all ain't thinking in that terms when y'all ready to open up your legs or run up in something because all y'all thinking about is sex.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's bringing on all these other problems. And Lord forbid, you got, they trying to even come up with laws now. The Republicans, I think, want to come up with a law saying that even if a woman get raped by a man, she got to have the children, and that if she aborted, it's called murder. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, I mean, this is what things is coming down to, and so I mean, it's like I'm gonna repeat it again.
Mm-hmm.
If anything was worse than that crack cocaine, it's sex.
Yeah.
Flat out, you know, and I mean, because all you gotta do is look at the whole situation. We listen, man, because of sex and what's led to the implications of what sex has brought to the human population in general. This is why you have more people that are part of the LGBTQ community because they couldn't get satisfied good enough by those of their opposite sex kind. So they chose another woman or another man to please them more better, or figured that they could get pleased more better by another man or woman. You see what I'm saying? Because of they distorted thinking when it comes to human nature.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So this is what sex has done. You know, sex has caused people to actually get killed. Oh man, why you looking at my woman, man? Why you looking at my man? Pop.
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Malcolm X, sex, Elijah Muhammad scandal. It was about pussy.
Exactly.
That's why he was killed. See?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. My girl, man, why you sweating? Oh, that's my man. That's my girl. Now you got a all-out shootout going on, where you got dozens of people that got shot, all because of this is my man, or that's my so and so.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what recently happened in my hometown of Detroit back during this summer, when you had 21 people at a legal block party that shouldn't have been going on, ended up getting shot over that same type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And from my understanding, ain't nobody been caught yet over it, you know? So I mean, this is what's going on. When it comes to this type of stuff, you know, you have it's no checks and balances no more.
Well, you know, it's like the Quran. Both of us are familiar with Islam. Islamic teachings. And I remember being taught about the devil in Islam.
Right.
And it talked about, I'm going to paraphrase, it talked about how Satan will come at us while we are on the right path.
Right.
So why wouldn't Satan, because sex is natural.
Right.
But Satan comes up in the natural to make it unnatural to keep you from your full potential.
Exactly.
Because again, anything, too much of anything is bad for you. We don't know how to stop.
Right, exactly.
We become obsessed. And those things, sex, being angry, being emotional, these things mess with your thinking process. See, a lot of us, we get angry and upset real easy, blah, blah, blah. When we get upset and angry, all types of emotion, regardless whether the emotion is happy, sad, these emotions cause us not to think logically. That's why when you see, or if you ever watch Star Trek, you know, Spock was not emotional because Spock know that emotions distort proper thinking. Right. It makes you illogical. You don't know how to make proper choices, whether you're happy, sad, whatever. And sex is not emotion. It's a natural behavior. It's a natural, something natural in us, but it causes a distortion. It's like you're trying to connect to, if you're trying to solve your problem, it's like a clog in the, and water can't flow through the pipe because it's clogged with thoughts of pussy, thoughts of dingling, thoughts I'm gonna strangle Angel Snuffing Up 7. You know, all these thoughts. So you cannot think clearly. You cannot think properly because your mind is clogged. Yeah. And this is why these people can't understand the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. That's why they can't understand why we talk and why we do the things that we do and how we move, how we groove here on this channel is because their minds is clogged up with stuff from the 1930s, from 5,000 years ago, from last year. Their minds is clogged up. Right. These men minds is clogged up thinking about somebody's backside.
Yeah. What you was gonna say?
Yeah, so that's all I was gonna say. The minds, you're not, so you lose focus. Just like when I did that little experiment trying to study for a test, and I put the naked woman in front of me. She wasn't even real. She was nothing but a piece of paper, an image. But she messed up my concentration. I couldn't focus. I couldn't study on what I needed to do. I'm like, oh wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
And the same thing with women too. These women, someone said this. See, even in my lifetime, I remember women wasn't like the women they are today. The women, a lot of the women that they have today have become sex addicts. They all caught up in the crap. They caught up in all this mess just like the men are.
Yeah.
Because women, I remember growing up and being around women, whatever, I didn't hear them talk the way they talk now, these women, but they caught up. Like you said, it's a drug. And unfortunately, this drug produces babies that have no purpose. And you have no purpose for them. They have no future. They just out here waiting for the prison, waiting for the strip club house. They to become drug addicts and other stuff in this society because they don't have nothing. They don't have no God. They don't have nothing. But this is what this type of behavior produces.
Right.
You got to know how to have discipline. You got to know how to have control of yourself. We should be thinking about when we have produced babies, not about the quantity of the babies, but the quality of the baby.
Exactly.
But see, we just spitting out, we just acting, it's irresponsible behavior. I'm gonna build a nation. You building a nation, but you don't have a nation, but you spend out the babies in the white man's house. Where's your nation that you supposed? This brother from years ago, you remember this brother named Wise Nubian?
Wise Nubian.
Yeah, anyway, he run around, he was messing with all the women on YouTube trying to get 100 wives. I don't know what his problem was. We building a nation. The nation ain't been built yet. You've been spending all your babies, giving them to the white man. None of your babies is being, yeah.
Just like that brother, that guy, Dr. Micah, who was supposed to have 100-some children by different women in his organization, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is the same guy who also is incarcerated over molesting little boys and girls, right?
Freak out.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, now check this out, man. This guy, even himself, said that the reason why, and this was just said word from mouth, word to ear, while I was incarcerated, I would hear different brothers talking about this, but it was shared on the yard one or two times years ago when I was incarcerated, that they said that he had this saying that the reason why a lot of brothers get caught up in the homosexuality in the prisons is because of their emotions, because they don't know how to keep their emotions in check. So this is the reason why a lot of them end up getting involved in homosexuality in the penal system. And I will have to say that there is validity to that, because a lot of them, they be so used to being out here, being around women and all, getting caught up with being sexed up or whatever, or sexing up somebody. And so they lose that part of their freedom to have the confidence of being around a female. So the next thing they feel like that come close to a female, instead of them jacking their feet all day and inside their cell, is getting with another man that might resemble a woman too. You see what I'm saying? So this is how they eventually end up getting caught up into the homosexuality, madness inside them prison walls. And that, and it's sad because Elijah Muhammad said in the message to the black man that these prisons and even these educational institutions in the country produces, homosexuality sweethearts, basically, like he was saying, because this is what you got, so we've been so insensitized with this institutionalization mindset that we become entrenched with all this, whether it's homosexuality, lesbianism, you see what I'm saying? And it's all a part of the implications of what sex actually has been used, instead of sex being properly used as it was intended for both man and women to use as. So what we do is we go outside of our natural selves. You see what I'm saying? And we end up doing all sorts of kind of crazy things when it comes to that. Like you used to say in them other videos years ago about how we run up in each other's anuses and all this kind of stuff. Not realizing we can actually catch diseases from that. That's why it's the reason why they call it safe sex. A A lot of people don't, still to this day, they don't, when they even instructed to medically, they don't even care to put on condoms. I mean, hell, even during COVID, you had people having sex without condoms, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That type of stuff. Because, I mean, people just got to the point where they really don't care. They don't care about even if they exist.
Mm.
So this is with the totality when you want to look at the ignorance and the implications of craziness that come with this thing called sex has done to the population.
Mm-hmm.
Not just soul people as a group of people, but to the population in general as well. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But us, which I'm particularly concerned with, mostly, you know, this is what's constantly, you know, destroying us and continues to destroy us. And this is why we're going to keep seeing until we get the mindset that we really want to be truly liberated and free.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're going to change. And the pro-black conscious ones, like you was talking about King Noble, they going to be a part of the same situation. They ain't no different from us.
Yeah.
I used to see plenty of them that I was around in my past. That's all they wanted to talk about was sex, booty,
yeah,
you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, really? Is that all what your mind is on? Even when I was in that organization under Dr. Ezekiel called the Nubian Islamic Hebrew Mission, or the Nubians, / which they changed their name 2 years later. And now they got it, their organization named to something else, you know. But anyway, these guys used to always talk about, man, hey, look at that beautiful Nubian queen. Look at that beautiful sister.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that all I thought your mind was centered on being just on the teachings.
Uh-huh.
Trying to wake up souls. As you always taught that you or the organization was about. You see what I'm saying? But all your mind is on is trying to see who guts you gonna run up in. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just really crazy, man. You know, when you think about this thing called sex, it's really a drug and it's very detrimental.
Yes. And that's all we're saying here on this broadcast. We're gonna go ahead and call it a day. That's all we're saying here is that we've gotten to the point where many don't realize that that's a drug, that there's a problem. We really don't look at what has happened to us because, like we said earlier, Malcolm is dead, was killed because of that. P. Diddy is in trouble. R. Kelly is in trouble. Even Michael Jackson was accused, you know, but it was toward little children. But it's always this stuff because it's out of control. But then also at the same time, remember, for 400 years, that's all the slave master gave a black man. And then he forced it on you because you really didn't want to do it like that. Go in there and get them 16 women pregnant, you damn mandingo. Slave.
Yeah, I seen a movie years ago based on that Turner, where they actually, it was an old, matter of fact, an old early 1970s movie that came out during around the very early part of the 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
It was an old clip. I wish I could go find it. Yeah, they actually had a black male slave laying in the bushes, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's all his purpose was being out there in the bushes in that field, was to wait on soul sisters to come out there.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, the master would send them out there, and they would actually, the soul sisters wouldn't even be willing to do it, but the brothers would force them to do it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And
now,
another
they
thing,
could go to jail for that type of stuff, but on the slave plantation, they didn't have no problem with letting that go down.
no. And another thing about our condition, remember, our people, our ancestors was treated and viewed as property, as animals.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those guys that was breeders, they had to breed with their own mama a lot of time.
Right.
I was reading somewhere, or I heard somewhere where some of those guys had a problem with it, and they just like put a bag over here so you can't look at her face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here we are crying about our identity. We don't even really know our biological identity for real, because we was made to have incest. Then we adopted once slavery was over, and maybe our mother got transferred to another plantation, never seen her again. So we adopted another mother that wasn't our biological mother, but she became our family.
Mm-hmm.
And you know something, black folks still do that to this day. Adopt friends as family, call them uncles and aunts and grandpas, and they're not biologically related to you. Because I know I had an Uncle Jesse. I thought he was my uncle. Turned out to be a family friend. We called him Uncle Jesse. So, and we still doing it. I even seen a commercial where a black family was doing that. And the parents was like, that's not your real, uncles, and that's not your real people. We're still doing it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about we are African, hell, we don't even really know our real biological lineage. Because we were so
places in the South.
Huh?
Even I know it's happening here. I mean, places like here out in the Midwest, and as well as I'm sure all across the country, but especially in the South, where you having a lot of incest that's taking place within soul black families. Because I remember my cousin who was staying in this little small town right outside of Nashville in Tennessee, where I visited her at over a couple of years ago, right? And on the phone, we used to always talk about this, and she would tell me that actually everybody in that same little small town, the little town she was living in, which wasn't nothing but like 16,000 some people, right?
Yeah.
She said that everybody that was related to each other because they was, laid up with each other. Yeah. Everybody, you never know, you be talking to your own cousin.
That's right. You don't know.
You end up in bed with her.
It's all messed up, man. That's why we need what they call, we need a reset. We need a reset so that we can control these things, so that we'll not believe, we'll know, because we're in control of it. We run it. We need a reset so we can make things good for ourselves. We cannot continue to depend on Kamala Harris or Donald Trump or these suckers or some Africans. We have to take our destiny, our life in our own hands. If we're not willing to do that, then stop complaining about this and that and that and that. You allow it. You want it. Shut up. I hate being around people that complain but don't want to do nothing about it. What the hell are you complaining about?
Hey, you know what? I voted before a couple of times, but I actually don't even know if I care to vote this time.
Yeah.
To be honest, because it ain't, what difference is it gonna really make
No.
for us?
No.
Exactly. Look what's happening in Chicago, where you got black gangs now that's talking about, that's actually coming together to deal with these gangs from Venezuela, South America. you know, who's calling themselves trying to take over their hoods, whatever they call them now, except for communities, you know, and now they coming up in there, you know, squatting out of people's places, taking over people's, you know, housing property and all this, and them brothers in Chicago like, nah, y'all already over here taking up our resources. The government is giving you the job. Just ain't gonna come up here and do this other extracurricular stuff. So what we gonna do is we gonna push back. And then you got different cities like Chicago, Detroit, and New York that's already prepared. So, you know, another thing I want to say about that too is, I know we're kind of off topic, but another thing I want to say about that too is that, you know, don't be surprised if you hear about these gang wars taking place. Brothers, these different immigrants, like the one coming out of Venezuela. And see, this is what they want, because this is one of their ways to keep power and control. But of course, you know, these foreigners, they come on, they don't care about our plight.
Right.
And you can see it in their actions. Even if we try to tell them, they don't care, because they only over here for one thing, and that's money and wealth and material.
Yeah.
And whatever they can do so that they can help those back in the countries of their origin, where they came from. That's all what they thinking about. You know, and so now we got soul brothers in different parts of the country that's finally willing to say, you know what, we done had enough of this. So don't be surprised when you hear something like a bunch of people losing their lives over this immigrant crisis situation taking place. That's all I just want to say for that. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you coming to the platform. Unfortunately, you couldn't be here in person.
Right.
But that happens sometimes. So, you know, that's the way it goes. You know, the speakerphone always works. So we can do it that way.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So I appreciate you coming here. Glad that you're still here. Glad that you understand. And it's always an honor that you would come here and spend some of your time and talk with myself and this audience and anyone that wants to hear something much, much different. And I would say much, much better than all the other crap. Because we already heard that. That's why I'm not interested. I done heard that stuff before. Been there, done that. You talk about a pipe dream. That's the pipe dream. Only thing you could do is have a parade. Right. And wear some red, black, and green. That's all you can do is have a parade. That's the best you can do. That's the best you can do is make a YouTube video. The best thing that you can do is get a few people and go to Washington and beg them for reparations, and they told you I'm not giving you a damn thing. That's stupid. They told you I'm not giving you nothing. Now, there's a few cities, like they still working on some type of reparations package in St. Louis, and I heard they're doing something in California, but the government ain't interested. And you go into them.
That in California, they didn't put that on hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, we don't have to, who gives a damn? Take the car, take the wheel, and drive yourself. Stop waiting on somebody else to drive and get you somewhere. Buy your own car, get your own gas, go where you want to. You steer and go where and ride where you want to go. Don't get upset because they call you boy, because you continue to behave and act that way. And that's why they don't like to be around people like you and me, whatever. Because I mean, I'm gonna have to just keep it real. I'm not about these feel-good stories. I'm gonna give you credit when you earn it. You don't earn it, you don't get no credit. That includes me or anybody. I don't give myself unearned credit. No, I earn the credit. And when you earn the credit, there's nobody that can take anything away from you. Michael Jordan earned his championship rings. There's nothing nobody can say or do can take it away. That's what he earned. And the same thing with us. When we earn it. You want to be called God? You want to be called a warrior? You want to be called a king? Then you earn that. Other than that, you get nothing. And they give you nothing. And if you are a god or a king and a warrior, you're the most pathetic piece of crap ever. You're a weak god. You're a pitiful warrior. You only embarrass yourself because anybody can see that's not what you are. You got to prove it. And the only way we can get into this game and become successful and end up creating the promised land, we will create the promised land that Dr. King talked about, is with this vision, with this proposal that we call Mississippi Campaign. I see no other way. And they know it, but you're too arrogant. But that's your problem. I don't argue with people. If you want to jump in front of a car, you're not going to see me sitting around. Oh, please don't do that. Enjoy yourself. That's all I can say. You know what's going to happen to you when the car hits your ass. Don't expect me to call the damn ambulance. Your ass the one that want to jump in front of the car. I told you.
Why you still giving your money to Dr. Umar Johnson and other people like him who ain't producing nothing?
Nothing. Ain't producing nothing.
Hey, what school has he built? Where's the school at? We still asking that question years later.
I mean, years later. I'm not talking 2 years. I mean, this is over 10 years old.
Right.
This is ridiculous. They done gave this man a few minutes. First of all, even if he got the school, you still need the funds to maintain it, to run it. So if you can't get the funds you need to actually build the school, you damn sure not going to be able to get the funds. You don't have the support. The board that's supposed to they all and he don't have old to live. Join us. Thank you. Thank you. Start or right off of get expected in reality, bringing the real. Until I have when they with me. Oh, I guess Mark Zuckerberg must have. I haven't heard, but I think Facebook Pamela Harris. It's no difference who the president. It should make no difference. As men, we supposed to be able to prove on our people. Shouldn't have what they say. What? Yeah. And thank you for jot down your comments, subscribe, all that kind of good. Discretion is we didn't ask it, and most of these and they like that to live. Exactly. Talk like that. Hey, for me, I feel like feel that way. My liar. I can't. Even if I couldn't, I couldn't like that. That's a roll that way. Tell us. But for those who feed in the swim in the cesspool, you want that and more. They like the sex talk, but they don't like how we talk about sex. I'm pretty sure they don't like what we had to say about it. That's why your ass can't go nowhere, can't get nothing going. It's a distraction. We out of here, y'all. Thank you, Taalik. We're going to catch you on the flip. As our ancestor Dr. Leaders used to always say as important, we wish you love, peace, and soul. And we are Audi 5000.